Livestream. Vandaag ben ik weer op Subnautica. En binnen zoveel minuten gaan we misschien ontsnappen. Wie weet.
As we've seen in all these Dragon Ball movies besides Battle of Gods, that Beerus is always kind of just on the side and just observing what goes on. And as we move on to the next sequence for analysis here. Guys, we gotta go on to the interactions between Lemmo and Sheila. And what I love about these characters specifically is that the way they interacted with each other, but at the same
I do not stand by in the presence of evil.
Time, it had some issues that kept it away from being a perfect film, but you can't have it. I think they're so afraid of what he's going to do to them, and they try really not to say anything that might have crossed over Frieza's line of rules. Whereas with Sheila and Lemmo, it kind of just feels like, yeah, Frieza kind of sucks, but you know what, we're kind of just doing this job because we got to do what we got to do. And you know, Sheila obviously joined because she wanted to gain clout, and Lemmo's just doing it as it's a part of his job. And I feel like their conversation while they're on the spaceship going to look for what would eventually have been Broly and Paragus was just such a refreshing conversation, because we just never really get to see people who work under Frieza just talking in such a true and real manner. And I felt that watching that interaction before we met Broly was very good for the movie itself, because it added a lot of realism and personality to Frieza's forces other than just listening to every single thing that he said. And while we're on the subject of Broly, Sheila, and Paragus, I definitely think the movie did a very good job in creating a relationship between those characters. In the case of Sheila and Broly kind of have a Goku and Bulma-like dynamic, where Broly is kind of like this guy who's away from technology, you know, somewhat like a Tarzan-esque character, whereas Sheila is way more technologically advanced, can teach him, you know, basic social etiquette like saying thank you, and also how to unwrap a chocolate bar. And when we go back to the beginning of Dragon Ball, that dynamic between Goku and Bulma, where she's kind of like his big sister and little brother, was a great and interesting dynamic that sparked the entire franchise. So seeing this with Broly was definitely a unique thing. And in the case of Paragus, I think when we see the sequence where Broly's in the bar and he starts, you know, grabbing that guy who's threatening Sheila, and Paragus essentially, you know, just uses his little remote to deactivate Broly's power, I feel like that scene can be interpreted in two ways that are realistic on both sides. On one hand, from the perspective of Sheila, it makes sense of her perspective that, you know, Paragus is harming his son and he's not really looking out for what, you know, Broly's doing. But from the same point of view, you can also look at this from Paragus's point of view and say, no, Paragus is actually doing the right thing, because if Broly, you know, really unleashed his power, he would have definitely have killed that guy. And Sheila at that time had no idea how dangerous and powerful Broly can be when he loses control. And obviously, since Paragus grew up on that planet all by himself with Broly, he obviously is aware of what Broly can do, and Sheila actually was ignorant of him saying how he's harming his son, because Paragus actually knew what was best for him. But we can definitely see that while Paragus would have been looked at as a bad father in the original Broly movie, you can seriously say that he was a strong and stern father, but also loving in this film. But you can't have a Dragon Ball breakdown without talking about what was good about the fight sequences, and boy oh boy do we got a lot to say here. So, in terms of the actual fighting, guys, one of the best things that I feel this fight did was it was so well paced. I never felt that there was one fight that was too long or too short, and the fight sequences never really seemed to drag out. For example, when we see the fight beginning between Vegeta and Broly, we see that Vegeta is clearly a way more dominant fighter than Broly because he has way more experience. He's learned all of these transformations that Broly didn't even know existed. And it was kind of like showing the dynamic between a master versus a student. This group just has all of this insane potential. And then we continue to see the fight is slowly changing, and Paragus and Frieza are starting to give up hope in Broly. And what's great about Paragus losing faith in his ability to fight against Broly is the fact that in looking
Jongens, ik ben zo terug. Deze keer vriend helpen en dan zie ik jullie weer.
that Paragus himself doesn't